Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I'm going to do something that you probably have never seen anywhere in the United States, at least. And that is for me to give you a real live commentary of my latest acquisition. And that is the Soulution 701 stereo power amplifier with the Plus upgrade. I got 3 of these, by the way. One of them is already sold, so there are 2 left. If you have any interest on this particular amplifier, make sure you send me an email or go to my website, jaysaudiolab.com, and connect with me. Now, what makes these amplifiers special is the fact that these are the only 3 701 stereo power amplifiers built. You're not going to find another 701 stereo because they only come in mono configuration. Plus, it already has the $20,000 upgrade that is performed at the factory in Switzerland. So what I'm going to do today is sit in that chair, talk to this microphone right here. Okay, it's a mono recording. Don't try to turn on your systems and pretend that you know what's happening here in the lab. You're not going to know. Okay, so before you start commenting down below, please understand that I need to speak into the mic to articulate what the hell is going on. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is utilizing again the 701 stereo with the Plus upgrade from Soulution, and also the 727 preamplifier that you saw a few months ago on my channel. Well, it's making a comeback. For the source, I am going to use the DCS Rossini Apex player with the matching clock. The cables on the back of this unit are the highly expensive transparent XL clock cables. It requires 2 of them, by the way. My power cords are none other than my cable line authentic audio image. As you can see, this is what I'm utilizing for the system. But I am not using any sort of power cord on the back of the Soulution 701 stereo. I want to use the stock power cord plugged into a 20 amp outlet. And for speaker cables, I am using master built speaker cables. So the system right now has been playing music overnight. Everything is cooking. Everything is sounding phenomenal. I wanted to make sure that I give the system a little bit of time to settle in before I sit in this chair and begin to critique it. Remember, in the past, you've heard my Griffin Apex monoblocks at an MSRP of about $210,000. These have been my reference amplifiers for a long time now, as well as the matching Griffin Commander. You're probably never going to find a dealer, in the US at least, that has top Soulution components and top Griffin components. And to be frank, if I could, I would bring out my CH Precision M10 monoblocks that I also have in storage, because I also have the matching preamplifier. But I don't have any space, which is why I'm trying to see if I could find a new home in Texas where I can expand my operation and just have everything connected, all these top-end brands, so you guys can hear what they're all about and hopefully come and purchase some of them from me, okay? So before I get started, remember, don't forget to check out my website, jaysaudiolab.com, for more ultra high-end gear. Let's get started. Let's do this. These are the Von Schweikert Ultra 7 speakers with the Shockwave subs.
We all got to die.
The clarity is just right away, right out of the gate.
Some people.
It's a cleaner, clearer presentation than the Griffin Apex with the Commander. But I think that's just
There's about a man.
what they're shooting for when it comes to Soulution. This clean and clear presentation. Here we go.
Some people die of cancer. Some people die of AIDS. But this man's gonna be crucified.
Here we go. More grunt right out of the gate with the 701. A lot more grunt. The low registers, the way the bass comes at you.
Deep, deep, a deep sleep. I found out.
Great depth.
I found out. I was Jesus. I don't want to be crucified. Don't want thorns on my head.
Vocals are
I don't want walk among
clean, clear.
I don't want
Although I don't know if they are as
Jesus.
well focused perhaps as they are on the Apex. Could be a power chord thing too. I am using a power chord on the amplifier, remember that? Imaging is outstanding. Outstanding imaging. It's ridiculously good with this amplifier. And it's a stereo amplifier. It's not even a mono. So the imaging is just ridiculous. Like everything walks like this. This is why I like this track. It does a really good job at going from left to right, but also in between, you hear it pass between the speakers, not just jump from the left to the right, with nothing happening in the middle.
A deep, deep, a deep sleep. I found out.
All right.
I found out.
All right, I'm gonna play another song that you've heard, Queen Mary. You've heard it a million times. So let's see what this song is about with this particular setup. Remember, I am listening to the 701 stereo plus the matching 727 preamp. So it's not just the amplifier, it is the preamplifier as well, helping the whole presentation, okay? So let's see this. Song you've heard a million times. Wow.
You live all your days.
This is clearly a better track than the previous track. My chairs are vibrating.
Oh, Mary, never show your true face, pretending high grade.
It's got so much resolution and nuance.
Oh, Mary, what good is your crown with your heart on the ground?
Man, I have to say, if you're looking for a bass champ of an amplifier with tremendous control, this 701 stereo is fire. One single amp is doing this.
With a throne made of stone.
Not fatiguing at all, not bright, nothing.
Long live the Queen. With a life
Yep.
not her own.
Right there, I'm going to tell you that what I got just from this few, 5 minutes of listening, the clarity of the Soulution components, the 7 series, of course, is incredible. The speed, I feel like things are moving along quicker than I'm used to. And the imaging, it's probably some of the best stereo imaging I have ever heard through these Von Schweikert Ultra 7s. The way the presentation is completely separated, it's unlike anything else I've ever heard before. Now, mind you, that's not to say that the Griffin Apex monos don't have that. I'm just saying to you, from a lot of amplifiers that I've owned, stereo amplifiers, this amplifier is easily one of the top 3 stereo amplifiers I've ever owned. The bass that comes out of this amplifier it's really special. And mind you, you might be wondering, Jay, what are you talking about? These speakers are powered. What bass? Why are you hearing more bass? I'm telling you right now, the speakers are still able to tell you the amplification you're using and the qualities of that power that you're feeding the speakers. Essentially, it takes that power amplifier and its characteristics. If it's bass heavy, if it's got a, if it's lean on the bottom end, you can actually hear that through the speakers, even though the speakers are powered on the low registers. Yes, the speakers are still able to convey that message to you. And so what I'm saying is, when I went from the Apex monos to the stereo 701 amplifier from Soulution, I hear much more robust bottom end. Now, the cool thing about the Ultra 7s is the fact that you can go around the speaker and dial that back if you have to. If it's too much for your taste, you can adjust there on the speaker, which is what's great about the flexibility aspect of this speaker. So anyway, let me continue listening and give you more feedback, guys. Please hit the like button and subscribe. There's absolutely no brightness here.
And when you feel weak, the king gets older. What good is your crown?
Beautiful.
With your heart.
The transients are so lightning fast. They just pop up out of nowhere and they vanished just so quick. It's really, really a very beautiful effect, what I hear. This switch mode power supply on the 701 stereo with the Plus upgrade is really different. The sound comes out you in a different manner. It's served to you on a different platter. I can't explain it, but it's a really cool feeling because things just happen a lot more effortlessly, if that makes sense. So let's move to another song that you've heard a million times. Wow, it just shoots you the music so quick. Wow, it's just woof. I'm trying to gather my words right now, and I'm trying to figure out a way to keep articulating what I'm hearing by using Soulution with Von Schweikert. And I'm going to tell you, it's a great pairing. It's a great pairing. There's absolutely no bite. But what's interesting to me is the fact that DCS with Soulution and Von Schweikert have a tremendous amount of synergy. And what I'm going to say is right now, it could be one of my favorite pairings at the moment with the speaker. However, we really won't know that until I go back to my Griffin Apex and the Commander. Those two are magnificent as well, which is the case for the 701 that you see here. It is so lightning fast and it's really nimble. It's quick on its feet. It doesn't get confused or congested because you're throwing at it complex passages, complex songs. It doesn't care. It goes right through them. It's so fast, like an electric vehicle, if that makes sense. It really is immediate. Yeah, it's impressive. Let's continue. See, it just pushes you against the chair. When the bass comes, it just slaps you. All right, we're gonna play some vocals at this time. Let's try to play Enjoy the Silence, excuse me. Wow.
Break the silence, come crashing into my little world. Painful to me, pierce right through me. Can't you understand? Oh, my little girl, all I ever wanted, all I ever.
So the mid-range, the vocals are so precise, so locked in. But I gotta give kudos to the Von Schweikert Ultra 7. The mid-range on this speaker has been so amazing, fantastic, perhaps, if not the best mid-range I've ever heard out of any speaker. I mean, it is really, really a well-sorted mid-range with a nice amount of warmth. It doesn't shout. Even if you crank up the volume on the Ultra 7s, it never sounds shouty to me. It never feels like it's congested or nasal, if you will. It sounds so beautiful. Perhaps, I don't know really, I have no idea what Damon is doing with the mid-range on this speaker, but it is beyond spectacular. I will say that in comparison to other loudspeakers that I've had here, this speaker makes others sound diffused when it comes to the mid-range. It really is that good. And you guys know I've had tremendous loudspeakers in my lab. Yet this speaker is just a couple of clicks above when it comes to the mid-range. Right now, this is just phenomenal. All right, we're gonna go now in a different direction. We're gonna play some male vocals just to get a feel for the speaker when it comes to this type of music. So let's try All Night Long by Chris Beard. It's a great track, by the way. You can immediately tell this track is not at the level of resolution, transparency, and the quality of the recording that the last track was. This is definitely a couple of clicks below, and the speakers immediately tell you that. You're not listening to the same level of a track, but still fantastic either way. See, the whole space deflated a bit. So I no longer hear music high, really high above the speaker. Now it's a lot lower and with slightly less depth.
My baby says she loves me. Love me all night long.
Beautiful.
My baby says she loves me. Love me all night long. As long as my mojo be working, she'll love me all night long. My baby, squeeze me tight. Squeeze me tight all night long.
Really, really good as well. The same effect when it comes to the mid-range. It's just so well defined, centered, focused. Again, not a hint of brightness or shoutiness. It's such a beautiful, beautiful sounding speaker. The mid-range is fantastic. I'm going to play one last track and I'm going to give you my closing thoughts. Thank you for sticking here, watching this full video. It is important that you hear me talk so that you have an understanding of my take on these electronics, which you probably will never see together at any store. So let's do one more. See, this is something that already freaks me out with this track, right? First, what was that? Five seconds? That instrument that I think it's like a drum. I can't really tell you what it is, but I thought this whole time that instrument was dead center between the speakers. It turns out it's actually off to the right. It's actually off to the right between the center and the right speaker. It was never meant to be for the whole soundstage, if that makes sense. But I've never really heard it so well sorted until now, until these two Soulution pieces are mated with the Von Schweikert Ultra 7. So again, the way it defines the space, the way it really sorts out everything, the instrumentation now is placed better. Let me just continue listening and then I'll give you my final feedback. That boom, that it's right here. That doo-dum, it's right there. Not in the middle. It's right here.
They were right to leave, right to use their wings to fly. So the sound of the birds taking off scared you last night. Though they were right to leave, right to use their wings to fly. I just can't figure out, is it too late or too
Awesome,
early?
man. It's just
Is it right on time? Could it be right on? If the crow said it right, we could move out by dawn early. Could be right on time. Could be right on. So the sound of the birds taking off scared you last night. Though they were right to leave, right to use their wings to fly. So the sound of the birds taking off scared you last night. Though they were right to leave, right to use their wings to fly.
okay. I'm going to give you my closing thoughts about this combo that you probably will never hear, as I mentioned earlier. For the longest time, I've heard about Soulution, specifically the Soulution 7 series. I've owned the 725 preamplifier, which is now retired, and now the current flagship being the 727, which is what I've been using. But I've never had the opportunity to hear the 700 series Soulution amplifiers. It is a switch mode power supply, so it's not a linear power supply. It's a different approach when it comes to sound reproduction. But all that said, the DCS with the Soulution 700 series that I have here and the Von Schweikert speakers, in my opinion, create some of the most perfect, well-balanced sound I've had in my room. It doesn't sound lean. It doesn't sound like it's having a difficult time with music. It doesn't feel two-dimensional or one-dimensional at all. It's very 3D sounding, holographic, and perhaps the best stereo imaging I have ever had in here. It is that special. It is so dense. The stereo images come at you with such force, yet very well defined. But it doesn't overdo it, if that makes sense. Some speakers and electronics do that same effect so densely that it almost causes you to have hearing fatigue. This here isn't doing any of that. And I was cranking it up pretty loud. I was probably at around 78 to 80 decibels because I know the volume on the preamplifier already. So, and I'm gonna tell you that it was just effortless. It was just so easy to listen to regardless of the volume level. I never expected for Soulution to do the things that it is doing with the Von Schweikert Ultra 7s. Never. As a matter of fact, Von Schweikert themselves had no idea how good Soulution can sound with Von Schweikert. I love it. In the past, we've seen a lot of Von Schweikert with VAC. Fantastic combination. But I'm here to tell you, Soulution and DCS with Von Schweikert is a lethal combination. Anyway, that's all I've got. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. And again, if you want to find used high-end audio components, make sure you check out my website. If you have enjoyed this type of content and you get something out of it, why don't you let me know in the comment section? Also, let me know if perhaps you want me to do the same thing with the Griffin electronics that I have here. I am game to do the same thing if you want me to, but the more likes and the more people subscribe, the more willing I am to keep doing this type of content. Something different to mix it up a bit. Make it interesting, right? Make it fun. Let's have fun with it. Thank you for your support. Peace.